Hello. Today I'm making mini dolls with you. I've got my worsted weight red heart, scissors, darning needle, and my trusty 3 3/4 millimeter straight needles. Some of these guys have skirts and some of them don't. These are worked flat. And let's get started. I start by holding the cast on end just so that I've got about that much, because this end is just going to be tucked inside the doll as I finish. And I hold my yarn as per usual and do E-loops by turning that and putting it on. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I knit and purl into the first stitch. That keeps it from being baggy. This is the toe. And I purl these two together. And slip them back onto the left hand needle. And then I purl 2. And purl 2 together once. This is the bit in the brackets if you're looking at the PDF. And twice. Purl 2 together. And slip them to the left hand needle again. So you've got the 3 you've been working with plus the last one there. And there you have your first leg. And what you're going to do is cast on another 6 for the second leg. 6, 5, 4. Oh, that one kind of snagged. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then repeat what you did for the first leg. Oh, I made those a bit snug. Here we go. Knit and purl in the first stitch. Purl 2 together. Slide them to the left needle. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Purl 2. 1, 2. Purl 2 together. Slip it to the left. And one more time. Purl 1. Purl 2. And purl 2 together. And there we go. Slip that to the left. So what you're seeing there is the 3 from the first leg and that one. And here you have the 3 of the second leg and the one in the middle there. And there's your second leg. And here we have the hips just in one row. Purl 2. Purl 2 together. Purl 2. Purl 2 together. When you're finishing, this strand here is going to look like the strand you need to grab for the seam, but that's not the one you grab. The one you grab is there. that, oh, sorry, that one there, the one in between. That one there, the one that's the bottom edge of this, the bottom edge of that row. So there we have hips. And now this part here is the waist, and you have two options for this row. This row, if you're going to put a skirt on your little person, you do a row of loop stitch. I'll show you that. And if you're going to be without skirt, then you just knit. Just knit. I'm going to show you my loop stitch. Knit one and leave that on. Come to the front, wrap around your thumb, and then knit into the same stitch again. Oh, it's a bit snug. So now you have two stitches and one stitch. You knock that off and drop this one, drop the first one over the second one. I don't know why I'm knitting so snug right now. There we go. There's my first loop. It's going to be kind of sticky outy, but we're going to solve that by wrapping the waist once or twice. I usually go twice, sometimes 3 times. Knit one, wrap my thumb, knit a second, there's my next one, knit one, wrap my thumb, knit the second, drop one over the other, there's my third, 3 more to go. Knit one, yarn front, wrap my thumb, second, drop one over, knit one, wrap my thumb, last one. There, now we've got our skirt. And next row is the easiest of all the rows on this pattern. Purl. Purl across. And it was the calm before the storm. We're sticking arms on now. And to do this, we're going to be working on the front of the work and the back of the work. The arms will go, there's 6 stitches here, so 1/3 of the way that will be one arm, 1/3 of the way that will be one arm. And we're going to tuck the, we're going to cast on an arm in between here. And we're going to take these stitches here and use them to make a shoulder. So that will be the shoulder around that arm, and this will be shoulder around that arm. And the center 2 stitches will be in the front, that'll be the front of the shoulder. And I'll show you how that happens. I'm going to knit one, slip one, and turn my work around. So here we have the back. And I am going to E-loop cast on 3. This is the arm. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to purl the first one. And slip it back onto the left needle and purl 2 together. and slip it back on the needle and purl two together, and there we have our arm. Nudge that to the front of the work, and then I'm going to slip two to the left. So this is the cast on that I added on, and this is the center, one of the front center ones. And to make that the shoulder, I'm going to purl those three together. And then I am going to set up the next arm by slipping two to the left. And I'm going to cast on the next arm, which is 3. And I'm going to do this the same way. Up to the shoulder. The shoulder is a reflection of the first, so let's get that far. Oh, I keep shredding that. There we go, there's a nice stitch. Purl one, slide it back, purl two together, put that back, purl two together, and there we have the arm. Nudge it forward to the front of the work, and what you're seeing here is 3 on each. So I'm going to turn my work, and when I made the shoulder, this center stitch here, it wound up in front on the decrease using 3. So I need this center one here for that shoulder, and in order to have this one on top, I need to slip knitwise, slip knitwise, slip knitwise, and then knit those 3 together through the back. And now it is a reflection of the other side. And just knit the last one. There, the arms happened. Turning, and here I'm going to make, I guess you can call it the jawline, using lift knits, lift increases. You see the center there. Follow that up to this stitch, so that's the stitch you need for that. Oh, I don't know if that was too blurry. That center right there in front. Follow that up, and that's the stitch you need. Lift that up, knit through it, and do the same on the other side, following the center, going up, and that's the stitch you need. And it tends to be scoochy or tight on this side. I don't know if that's just the way I hold my needles, or so that's a reflection of that one. You now got 2 extra stitches. Purl the last 2 and turn your work. And then I'm going to stick in a short row, which adds width to the head. I'm going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3. That puts me in the center, so I'm going to add a center stitch here by using the make one, going under that and knitting through the back. And then I'm going to knit 1 and use another right lift increase here. I'm going to slip that newly made stitch over to the left hand needle and turn. And I'm going to knit 3, or purl 3, sorry, I'm on the wrong side. Purl, 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 and then do a right lift increase for this side. And slip that back to the left hand needle, turn around and knit the 6. So I now have 9 stitches. I like to press my finger in the center here. It helps the stitches become less square for the head. And my final row, I'm going to slip, slip, purl. Slip that knitwise, slip that knitwise, and I'm going to put it back on the left hand needle together. And that makes the it's on the front side, it's a slip, slip, knit, because I want this stitch in front in the end. If I guess what I'm trying to say is no, that's not what I'm trying to say. Anyway, slip, slip, that makes that in front and untwists it, so I don't have a twisted purl two together. And it is reflective of the purl two together. So I did 2 slip, slip knits, purled 1, and I'm going to purl 2 together. And I am done. And here I stick my finger there and kind of stretch that outward so that it kind of shapes a bit, because you want kind of a round head on your doll rather than a square one. And that's pretty much that for the knitting bit. Done with that. And I'll need, I don't know, about, what is that, about 1.5 feet of bind off. Oh, yeah, about 1.5 feet. Oh, my family is home. Hi! And I'm going to get my needle in there, and draw that through it. Finish those off. Put your finger in there and stretch it a bit, shape it. And this one, you just tuck it, this end, just tuck it inside like that, and line up the waist. Hi, babe. And sew the top of that. I'm filming.
I gotta give you. Love you, Auntie.
Love you too, babe. And then that one. And here, in order to just tidy up the center there, I go and grab this bottom stitch here, the one that made up the waist. I go in there and give that a tug and bring it back to the back again, and turn and throw in a little holdy stitch round about the waist height. And these stitches are always a bit snug, so it takes a bit to get in there. There we go. I wish I had a better needle. And here I have the top edge of the loop stitches, so I go around at that level. That way I'm holding the loops down. And I go around a second time, nice and tight, and that shows where the top of the dress is. And I go back to the back of the work and hi, baby. Yeah. And there we go. And then I just stick that in there somewhere and snip it. I'm going another time just because I can. There we go. And there we have a doll. If you just roll the limbs between your fingers, it gets the stitches nice and even. And to shape the head, I squash it and pinch it and squash it, and that gets the head a bit shaped there. So there we go, dolls.